Good night. Today, in Literature Movement Interviews, we have a character from Mary Shelley's most famous science fiction book. And his name is... Frankenstein. To begin this interview, we must know who are you? And where was it?
I am Frankenstein, a monster who was not birthed, a monster who was created, built in a laboratory. When I opened my eyes, I felt bad, like every part of my body were burned. I felt awful. I couldn't blink. I was in the laboratory, laying in a bed full with cables of different colors and light bulbs shining. When I tried to stand up, I fell down. I was unconscious for a while. When I woke up, I spent almost a day to move all my body. When I could move, I saw a shadow out the door, so I ran away.
So, what do you do?
I told you! I ran away!
Oh, and how was your first experience when you left the lab? Although, how did you feel interacting with other people? It had to be hard, didn't it?
When I was outside, I started to feel all the courage of nature going through my veins, showing me her world, her beauty. People didn't understand me. Well, I don't blame them. I'm a monster. The first people who saw me screamed and shouted for help. Then they started to hit me. They wanted to kill me. Do you realize what is that when you just have birth? So I ran away for several weeks until I found a safety place. It was a barn full of straw without people following me. In the barn there was a hole where I could see the family who lived there. I learned their customs, their language. I learned to read and write, just listen and watching them living.
Now explain me, what were the words that you learned for the first time?
The first words that I learned were milk, hell, meat, water. I was in a farm, so that was all my life.
Really? And who was the first person that you talked to? Did you meet someone else?
The first person who I spoke to was the old man of that family. He was blind. He couldn't see me, so I decided to talk to him. It was a comfortable conversation until his children came into the kitchen where we were talking, and they started to scream. A second later, there were a lot of people trying to catch me to kill me. No, I didn't meet anyone else after that incident, so I planned to find my supposedly creator.
And after that, did you meet the person who created you? Who built you, or something like that? Did you know his name and what was his purpose?
Yes, his name was Dr. Victor Frankenstein. That's why people call me like that. And his purpose, believe it or not, his purpose was create the perfect man with the best part of the body of the best man in the country. He believed that he had got the elixir of life, so he could give life. He gave me my life, so I reached him and I found him on Edinburgh. I confronted him to explain why. Why did he do that? Why did he create me?
And finally, how was your reaction when you talked with him? And what was his reaction?
When I saw him, I tried to speak to him, but when he saw me, he jumped on at me and tried to kill me. I took him away and I told him that I just want some answer. I need somebody like me. So I asked him to create a woman for me. If he did that, I leave him in peace. If he didn't, I told him that I will keep his family before kill him. So he accepted to create a woman, a partner for me. After 2 months working in that project, Dr. Frankenstein started to feel worried about create other monster like me. What about if they make group and try to kill people, he thought, or try to do something bad. So he destroyed the second monster, my future partner. I was in the roof spying him when I saw him destroy my sister.
So, what happened then?
I got very angry, but I didn't kill him. But I promised to kill his family and his wife. And I remarked that I will kill his wife the day of his marriage. And I keep my promise. You know what that means? You know what that means? I killed them all! I killed them all!
Take it easy, man. Take it easy. Relax.
Kill them all!
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Man. But do you know that you were created by someone else? Do you know that Dr. Frankenstein was created too? And your whole life too? All your story was created by a woman called Mary Shelley.
No? What are you talking about? Tell me now, or I kill you too!
Now I'm going to introduce you to Nestor, who is an expert about all the Mary Shelley's life. Nestor, can you tell us about who was Mary Shelley?
Well, all I know that she was a writer and a philosopher. Her childhood, she was born in London on August 30th, 1797. His father was political philosopher and his mother was a feminist philosopher.
And both had the same work?
Yes, both. His mother died after giving birth. His dad gave education to Mary and her whole sister. And after that, 3 years later, he had got married with his neighbor.
So, what else can you tell us?
Well, Mary started a relationship with Percy Shelley, who he was some of the political followers of his father.
And she suffered any pain in her life?
Yes, many of them. She lost 3 of her children. In 1822, her husband died in a hurricane. Then she came back to London to dedicate it to his career and take care of her son that she had. And finally, the last decade of her life, he had many diseases in her brain, and she died at 53 years old. Well, in the book Frankenstein or the Eternal Prometheus, it was the first science fiction book and one of the best histories of the all time, and it was inspired by a dream that she had.
His name is Frankenstein.